Frightful 5000 Films presents a Ghost Magnet Minute.
Hi, I am here today with my friend James Annitto. James and I, we know each other for many years through the paranormal communities, worked a lot of conventions together, and he is fascinating. What's fascinating is James is actually a demonologist, but I'm wanting to ask you some questions about that because I think there is a lot of misunderstanding about what demonology actually is.
Definitely. Well, I thought I was a dermatologist. Are we doing the wrong interview here right now?
Wait, oh my gosh, we're not at a paranormal convention, are we? Kidding.
But you asked what the question of what a demonologist
Yes.
is? Well, basically what a demonologist is, and I think we kind of talked a little bit about this last night personally, a demonologist is just a study of demons, and it really gets more beyond that. I actually got in a debate not too long ago about what demonology is. Emphatically, it's the word study. That's all it is. We look upon demon names. We look upon different levels of hauntings, poltergeist, malevolent hauntings, earthbound spirits, and of course, demons. But we also got to look at it on a different orientation of just not Christianity as well. Like we look at jinn cases, or at least, well, I do at least, and the other plethora of other religions and evils out there, such as Azoras and, of course, Onis in the Japanese cultures. So demonology is that study, and that's basically emphatically what it is. It's, if you know a great man, of course, I never was able to meet him, Ed Warren. In his book, The Demonologist, he clearly states that's what a demonologist is. And Ed always, if he can emphatically say he was dealing with a demonic case, he would always bring the church in.
Right.
And it's the same concept with me. You know, luckily I have Bishop Long and I have other people that I'm associated with. So I go in there, I investigate, or I'm after an investigation. I look at all my questions that I have for the client, and I do what I do. And then if I feel like it's something I can't handle, then I call upon somebody that can actually adequately handle it. And of course, in the big aspect of it, as we all know, it's covered by insurance. So if anything goes wrong, because that's a big thing. You know, when you deal with people on an individual level like that, there's a lot of things that can go bad in that situation.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, I talked to you about parapsychology, which is a whole area too when it comes to actual paranormal investigating. Excuse me. But so you're not an exorcist,
I'm not an exorcist, no.
and so what you do, you go in and you actually determine whether or not there is a demonic presence in a certain
Yep,
case.
Definitely. Oh, that's what I do, yes. But basically, you know, I also am an ordained minister. So basically, being a demonologist and studying and actively doing cases that I've been called upon, I've seen some crazy stuff. I'm not going to say some of the stuff I have seen, there was psychological disorders involved. I would say a good portion of it is. But the stuff I've seen that could be legitimate in all actuality, I could say is a demon, really does scar you. But it also kind of either makes you stronger in faith or destroys your faith in total. I've seen people do these things, these kind of cases, and falter away, leave the paranormal, leave the study of demonology because it's not what they would imagine in their head. But I became a minister because I wanted to take that extra step. I wanted to, if I could, help them, you know, religiously and faithfully help them instead of just saying, yeah, you have a demon. But there's also times and places where it's too much for me, and I will call an exorcist like Bishop Long or one of the other few that I have associated with because of being in the field of demonology.
It's fascinating, and luckily in my experience, I've not had to deal with any type of a demonic presence that I'm aware of. But unlike television, and I'm not going to get into any type of editorial about paranormal TV, but you know, my feeling is actual demonic cases are a lot more rare than what maybe TV leads you to believe. Is that true?
And I say this statistically because I can go based upon numbers because I've been doing it. I'm a very analytical person.
Right.
I like to look at every perspective of what I deal with. I look at the psychology aspect of it. You know, I'm not a psychologist, but I do work with them. I look at like the medical aspect, what kind of pills they take and what kind of medicine are they doing, drugs. So I won't ever say to a client you're dealing with a demon either as well. But for number-wise, and how this shows you how rare they are, I've done over 400 cases, anywhere in between there, because I can't methodically go in my file cabinet and look at every case file. I do have them sectioned off.
Sure.
So I can have a basic idea of what I've dealt with for the past 12 years of doing this. And I would say 5 to 7 cases out of those 400 were I could say demonic. And why I say 5 to 7 is because basically there's 2 of those cases that I still kind of always keep role playing in my head and have visions of it and kind of try to determine, was it really something that I believe was demonic? And I take sometimes years before I can even say, yeah, I dealt with a demonic case, even though it might have had all the qualifications and I might have called the church. And I still want to analyze it, because as an investigator and a researcher, you shouldn't stop researching and investigating the cases you've done. Even if you do cases in the present, you should still always reflect back on the cases you did before.
Absolutely, and I have a great deal of respect for what you do, and I thank you for being with me, because we could talk about this for hours. It's just such a fascinating field in general. But anyway, thank you, James.
Thank you for
I
having me
appreciate
on.
it. And this has been an extended Ghost Magnet Minute. I'll catch you next time.